Hi, I'm Kisha, and I'm a social entrepreneur. I run a small community social enterprise in Sheffield, helping libraries create sneaky learning opportunities for young people. I received support and funding from UnLtd, and now I'm working with them on this video to provide you with some information on the application for the Social Entrepreneur Support Fund. This video is a quick introduction to the application form itself. We'll be looking at which areas the people assessing applications will be looking at, some of the terminology that's used, and where to go for more information. If you'd like more information on the fund, then you can find it on the links at the end of this film and the additional guidance in the application form. It will tell you more about whether you're eligible for the fund, what funding is available, and the full process for applying. There'll be 3 rounds for applying, each one lasting a week. The first one will begin on the 13th of July, then the 13th of August, and the 10th of September. If there are lots of applications and this changes for any reason, anyone who has started an application will be contacted by email, so get those applications started as soon as possible. You're eligible for this fund if you're based in England and your beneficiaries are mostly in England, a social purpose organization with an asset lock incorporated at least 1 year ago, and before COVID-19, your business was financially stable with an annual income between £25,000 and £1.5 million and substantially reliant on trading income. If you're still not sure you're eligible, please do use the link at the end of this video for additional guidance. So a bit about the application form itself. There are 7 sections to the form, and across the top you'll see we have all the sections to give you an idea of what you will be asked. Some of the questions have links to frequently asked questions to help you understand what we are looking for. When filling in the form, you can download the application form and work on it offline. Please be aware that some of the questions have a maximum word count, so if you're working on the form offline, you may need to check you don't exceed this limit before you copy it back into the online form. All the questions with an asterisk are compulsory, and you will need to complete these before moving on to the next page. UnLtd is committed to making awards that seek to address social inequalities and barriers some groups face in accessing finance and support. As a result, we want 50% of the social entrepreneurs awarded to be from Black, Asian, or minority ethnic backgrounds, disabled, or over 50. In addition, 50% of the awards will go to people who are using their direct experience of a social issue to address it. We refer to this group as leaders with lived experience, and we talk a bit more about that later in the video. We anticipate that some people identify with more than one of these, so this won't account for all the awards that we make. In fact, there will be some awards made to those who are not leaders with lived experience, Black, Asian, or minority ethnic, disabled, or over 50. So please apply. We'd love to hear from you. Now this bit is really important. In the first part of the application form, it will ask about your previous funding relationships. It is really important that if you want to be assessed by UnLtd, you tick this box that asks for your preference at this stage. Every application we will be assessing against 4 key areas: your organization's financial resilience, the impact you're making in response to COVID-19, the longer-term impact you make, and how inclusive your organization is. There's detailed information on each financial question available in the guidance. In this video, we wanted to take some time to look at the other 3 areas. So looking at inclusion, to ensure the fund is supporting communities most in need, this section asks a few questions about you, your board, and the people you work with. One thing we ask is whether your founder or any of your board are leaders with lived experience. A leader with lived experience is someone who uses their firsthand experience of a social issue to create a positive change for and with the communities and people they share those experiences with. For example, someone who is disabled who has developed a product or service for disabled people, or a carer setting up a support service for other carers. A lived experience leader would not be a non-disabled person who has volunteered with disabled people and wants to set up a disability charity, or a carer of someone with dementia who has set up a support service for people with dementia. While these experiences can be valuable in tackling a social issue and are still eligible, we would refer to this as indirect or learned experience. These questions help give us a sense of how your organization is connected to the community you work with. This is your opportunity to tell us how, if at all, your organization is meeting specific needs created by COVID-19. We will be interested in how you are responding to the COVID-19 crisis, the scale of the response, and the vulnerability of your beneficiaries. There will be quite a lot to unpack here, and these are the questions you might want to start working on offline. After starting an application in the portal, there are 3 questions in this section. They are: how have your organization and the people you work with been impacted by COVID-19 crisis? What have you done differently to respond to your community's needs in response to the COVID-19 crisis? And what do you need to do over the next 6 months? So in this first question, how have your organization and the people you work with been impacted by COVID-19 crisis? You might want to tell us a bit about how social distancing, lockdown, shielding, or supply chain disruption have affected your venture and the communities you work with. The second question: what have you done differently to respond to your community's needs in response to COVID-19? We're interested in how both your business has adapted to meet your community's needs and how you will use the financial support. For example, it could include: how are you providing essential services to your beneficiaries or responding to new needs? Are you delivering your product or service in a different way or doing something new? If you haven't been able to do this, let us know why. Finally, how will this support contribute to the survival of your business? And third, what do you need to do over the next 6 months? Will you be providing critical services to your beneficiaries or responding to new needs, delivering your existing product or service in a different way, or doing something completely new? How will this support the survival of your business? What management decisions have you made? If you don't anticipate doing something different, then let us know why. Finally, there are a few questions to understand your impact beyond COVID-19 crisis, your scale of impact before and after the crisis, and the vulnerability of the communities you support. We want you to describe how your social enterprise was addressing social need prior to COVID-19. This could include what activities, services, or products you provided, who were you helping and how often, and what would happen if you weren't there. We know this is a long form. We hope this video highlights the areas assessors will be looking at. If you'd like some more advice, please do see the guidance on the website. We are committed to ensuring it reaches those most challenged by the impact of COVID-19, but we won't be able to support everyone. We wish you well in your important work and hope you're able to access the support you need. As promised, here's a link to the website where you can start an application. Thanks, bye.